Hello everyone and welcome to the STPL. We're here for day 2 of season 2 and we've got another couple of 6 series coming your way.
That's right, and I'm here again, Kix.
Yeah,
Hi. And
you
also a
are.
big welcome to everybody else out there who is tuned in. Whatever time it is, if for some reason you live in the time zone I live in, go back to bed. STPL is not worth. Okay, it is worth it. I'm
It
here, so you
is,
should be here
yeah.
too. But yeah, wherever you are, we're back with another season of STPL. We started it last week. We're continuing it. Last week had I feel bad, Kicks, because now every other week of STPL can't have games as good as the first week.
Yeah,
Well,
this is going to be
last week
difficult. Like,
it was so good. If you guys missed that, it wasn't. I didn't
it was
even
on
think it was
Monday.
gonna be the good series. It was on Monday. It was Kogut versus Marwin. Go watch it. It's the best TVT you'll ever see. It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so good. It's nonstop action. It's non. The hardest thing in Brood War is to have even army trades. I feel like a lot of times it's like a little bit one-sided, and then maybe back and forth. But whatever. These guys are just like they're Dragon Ball Z fighting. Where they just like they clash and then they back up, and it's just even all the time. You can't even
yeah.
see it. It's instant transmission. It's so fast. It's so good. And
It's
now we
also,
have to top that.
yeah, it's also probably my most watched video on YouTube with like 120 views, so that's kind of crazy. I got a ton of comments on Reddit as well, so nice to see people liking TVT. Just to show the outcome of those games, actually, let's have a look at the team rankings. Now, you'll notice Red and NetWars won their series. Red have actually taken the top spot as they didn't go to an ace match, so they have won one additional game.
That's
So
so
they're sneaking their
stupid.
way at the top.
Like, wow, guys, congratulations. You won a series and now you're in first place. This is like giving them like the trophy for winning the tournament before the tournament's over. I'm just like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's like
well.
good job, guys. I mean, maybe for some of the teams, like if some of the teams get first and they're maybe not
Yeah.
that confident, they can always screen cap when they were first and then just pretend the tournament ended that day, and that's it. That's how it
If this
runs.
were
But
Sorry, I gotta kill some mosquitoes here too. If this were an American Little League game, you would 100% get a trophy for being first 1 week of STPL. So,
yeah, it's like you did your
anyway,
best, trophy. But yeah, we got the top 10 as well. That's not changed from last week just yet. Looks like we're all pretty set at the top of the table. Obviously, the players have played a lot, but you can still sneak up there very quickly. Look at Tai 2 with only 9 games played, and he's already caught up to Dragon, who's had 30 games played. So that also shows how many games have actually been played in the STPL so far. Over 1,600 up until this date, which is crazy.
yeah, so you have an ELO system there. That's the number right
Yeah.
after the player name. There's another system that I read that takes into account the number of games played because obviously it's harder to maintain a good average over a long period of time than it is over a short period of time. And it factors that in and gives you a higher score even if you have two players with 80% or with 80% win rate. If you have an 80% win rate over 100 games, it's more significant than if you have it over 10 games. And so it'll give you a higher rating if you can maintain a high win rate for longer. It's kind of a cool system. It's non-linear, so it's harder to think about. But when you
Yeah.
look at the number, it's like, well, this player has a bigger number, they're better. Because that's what you think of when you look at ELO numbers. And that's what you should think of when you look at these players, because New way up at the top is just insane. But it's hard to say he's 100 points better than Tai 2, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess as the season goes on, we might see that come into fruition. Taito is probably going to play a few more games now he's on Seoul, so hopefully we'll get to see that. But heading into our first matchup today, we're actually going to be looking at one of the main clans, the actual second place finishers for the entirety of Season 1. They won 2 of the rounds in Season 1 as well, which is when things get very confusing thinking back. But White Clan... amazing job by them. We're currently, obviously, they haven't played so far this season. They are submitting a lot of extra players into their roster. And I guess we'll have to see if they can kind of repeat their previous successes from season 1.
I don't doubt that they can. They've always been one of the best teams here. The only thing that is kind of missing is that because they have a roster, no joke, is this it's a Korean clan, right?
Yeah.
Since 1998 is because they've been around since day one of Brood War. And they've always been one of the top clans, even within the Korean clan system, which has like a different set of leagues than like the main top pro leagues. Because
Yeah.
this is for a lot of amateur players. Their detriment is they just let anybody play. Tell these kids no. Like, obviously, this is a great opportunity for new players, so we could see a lot of up and coming Korean talent. But when it comes to playoffs, man, put best in, man. Put mind in. Like, they did it, but it was not quite enough. And so all I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is, like, it's cool to see new talent rise up, but when it comes to the finals, man, I want to pull out the big guns. So let's see how they do over the course of the season, if they can even make it to finals.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different path to get to the finals this time. It is one single round. It's one single group as well. So White Clan in round 3 and 4 last season did actually struggle quite a bit. They were kind of sending in some of their lesser known players to try and get them some exposure, but it's going to be important for them to kind of push themselves, and they're going to be up against our newest clan here from everything that's going on. It's going to be EF. I've actually got no idea why their logo isn't loaded, but essentially EF, a mix of Korean and South American, kind of like Valhalla team in that respect. I saw them in a show match, and they played pretty well against Nice, but I can't remember if they won or not, but we'll have to see how they're going to do now. Having a look at their rosters, kind of different from the other day where we had a load of TVT, which is kind of rare. We're going to start with a ZVZ, even though it does say ZVP there. It's going to be Fairy versus Darking. We're going to have a TVT, so we have got another one on Carthage 3 between Bai and Pinkbrush. A PVT between Cubic and Jihu, and a ZVZ between Careless and Chaylin on Neo Outlier.
Oh, Chaylin's on Eternal Friends. That's actually really sick. Yeah, I don't get to see, obviously, so Chaylin is a female Korean streamer who is incredibly good, speaks very good English, and if you ever get a chance to watch her stream, it's pretty easy to interact. And I don't get to see her play that much in offline tournaments. Sometimes she'll play in one of the like broadcaster leagues out here in Korea, but most of the time it's kind of hard to see that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that fourth match for sure. But I'm also, correct me if I'm wrong, because Eternal Friends are from multiple countries. I don't know if we know exactly which country all of their players are from, correct?
We do. So Darking is Peruvian, Pinkbrush is Korean, Jihu is Korean, and Chaylin is Korean.
Okay, all right. So Darking is Peruvian.
Yeah.
There's this BSL meme where a Peruvian is guaranteed to win a game on any broadcast that has a Peruvian in it. Because there's good. It's like Peruvian is South American Korea, which is a weird sentence to say, but they're super badass. So White Clan are all Korean, and I have no idea what to think about any of these players because I've never watched them play a game before in my life.
Yeah, Cubic, there's an interesting story with him. He was actually caught double clanning with IRK, so Aggie kicked him out of IRK, so he went straight back to White Clan. So he's here. One thing I just want to ask the chat as well. I was watching the VODs the other day, and I noticed mine and Rapid's voices were kind of off a bit. Like I was much louder. So if it's a bit better now, then let me know. But let's introduce our first couple of players here now. I mean, interestingly, there's actually no stats for either of them yet, so we can't really go into it too much. We're going to be discovering how they're doing as well as, or as soon as you are. You can see they're actually rank 138. That takes into account all the people that have actually played a game in terms of ELO, so I'm not sure if that ranking is entirely accurate, but Fairy for White, we're going to have Darking for Eternal Friends, EF, and we're going to be heading...
What is this? Soy el padre de Cruza.
I don't actually know. Anyone know Spanish? Or Portuguese? I can't remember which language Peru talks. Peruvian.
Oh, I mean, I know Spanish. Cruza is crosses, so basically it's talking about, like, you know, if you've ever seen Cristo Redentor, that's what he's trying to say. He's like saying, I am the father of the cross. I don't know if he actually is the father of the cross, and also, is that do I just not know the Peruvian flag?
That's...
because I thought that's the Bulgarian flag?
No.
Peruvian flag has the Peruvian logo in the middle.
Okay, well,
I'm pretty sure that's the flag of like Hungary or Bulgaria or somewhere.
Okay, well, it's not got the... I basically got it from like an emoji pack. So I
Oh
guess
yeah,
the
I sent
emoji
you that
doesn't
emoji
have.
back.
Yeah, I guess.
Whoops.
I guess the Peruvian flag doesn't have the emblem in because I think the Mexico one's missing it as well. So it might be a little bit too detailed. Oh,
Yeah, well,
incomplete
that's
might be
definitely a
right as
European
well.
flag. I know because a lot of the players on Bull have that flag.
A
So
Bularola
I don't actually know.
Bolivian. So
Yeah, it might be like I don't know. I'm not good on my flags of the world, guys. So let's just actually cast some StarCraft kits.
yeah,
We've looked at this blank screen enough. The players are new. We don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be Peru versus Korea to start off our first game of the night on.
New Arkanoid. So New Arkanoid is one of our more interesting maps in the pool. There are destructible buildings absolutely everywhere, blocking all the ground paths. I mean, it's going to be most interesting, I think, in ZVZ compared to any other matchup because drops aren't really a thing. We're obviously going to see early Spire from both players, but are we going to see them skip lings altogether and go for like a one-hatch Spire, or are they going to go for something more conventional, like maybe go for a very quick 3 base? That's also something you can do. So ZVZ on this map is probably going to be the most different from any other matchup. So I'm excited to get into the game, so let's do it. Heading into the game of Darking versus Fairy on New Arkanoid. Okay, and starting us off here in the top right-hand position, we do have the Blue Zerg fighting for EF. It's Darking.
What is it? It's Eternal Friends, right?
Yep, Eternal Friends.
I'm going to think of so many memes for that. The bottom right in the red, playing for White Clan from Korea is Fairy. In case you guys are confused about the 2, the number 2 in Korean is pronounced E. So it'd be like Fairy. It's supposed to be like a Joker meme or whatever. I don't know. But his name's Fairy. So even though there's a 2 there, just, it's Fairy.
Yeah.
And then Darking, I actually thought that was like Darkin, like the species that Aatrox is in League of Legends, but thankfully he added the G, so we don't have copyright issues. But either way, it's a ZVZ, and because it is played South America to Korea, I'm not sure what the turn rate is like, and obviously in ZVZ that can matter a lot.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to note as well is thanks to the latest patch by Blizzard, we actually have the work account in the top right-hand corner of the screen, which for a
How
ZVZ
sick is that?
is going to be so good.
Is that not the sickest? This is like the reason that a lot of tournaments are broadcast without the production tab for Brood War is because of just like authenticity. It's because like the mythos of watching Brood War has always been the archaic nature of the game. Like nobody plays Brood War because everything works perfectly the way it's always supposed to. No. The magic of Brood War is that stuff just doesn't work some of the time, or it works way too well some of the time. Like when Lurker spikes, like when the Lurker dies and the spikes deal double damage. So like some of the stuff is just crazy, and so having the worker count I think is the perfect addition to the game. So it's not too much information, but it's just enough to give you what you need.
Yeah, and the thing is, much like the production tab, the reason why it's not used in tournaments is it's only in replays. So in replays, you'll get the work account that helps you analyze your own replays, which is a massive thing. But you won't see it in ops either. But I think for the replays, it's actually pretty good, even for tournaments, because work accounts don't give away too much. Because unlike in, say, StarCraft 2, where, oh, it's like this guy has 10 more workers, he's clearly going to win the game, it doesn't work like that in Brood War. So it'll be kind of cool to see how that's going to work. Now, we have got a variation in builds. Fairy went for a second hatchery first, and he took it, or he or she took it at the base where the gas is possible to mine. So we're going to have a 2-gas Zerg against a 1-gas Zerg going for lair on 1 base. So we'll have to see if that comes into play.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the biggest thing is that you can't build your hatchery just on position or on location, which kind of sucks. I mean, I don't know if this is like makes it a not friendly map, because obviously mining from on a not on location hatchery really sucks. But I mean, at least there's so I don't know if Zerglings can fit between the mature chrysali and the hatchery, because I was thinking, hey man, maybe that like blocks off surface area. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
mean,
what to think about this map because I've only watched like a single-digit number of games on it.
the important thing is, in normal ZVZs, the worker count never gets super high anyway, so even if you're mining off-center, it's not the biggest deal. Now, both players are actually going to finish their lair relatively around the same time. Obviously, Darking's was a little bit quicker, and Darking is going to get that second gas later, but they're both at a really high worker count already, and there's no way, at least until Muteless come, for either player to be aggressive.
Well, that's the weird thing about this map is that by ground, it's just almost, specifically for like Zerglings, it's just going to be really rough to try to get across the map by ground. So, I mean, ZVZ having mutas is not like rocket science, but it's going to be super important. And one of my favorite things, the reason Zero or Queen is my one of my favorite Zerg players, is that he would play like big air Zerg. Like he was always the king of late game ZVZ.
Yeah.
And even though, you know, maybe that's like saying, you know, you're the king of, you know, when, I don't know, something that doesn't happen all the time happens. That was a terrible analogy. Like you get the idea. It's like, well, he might not be a god all the time, but when it happens, it's amazing to watch. And because of all the blockers on the ground, air is going to be super important.
Now, one thing we see here is Darking is actually opting, rather than building more drones, is adding on another hatchery quicker, so the mining is going to be more efficient from that base, but he doesn't yet have the drones to actually make use of it, so we're going to have to see how that plays into it, because obviously both of them, their spires are about to finish up. We've actually got an Evo chamber coming in from Fairy, so Fairy's going to look to play this a little bit more defensively with that spore already coming up in the main mineral line, so...
Yeah. I'm not really sure about the spore. Obviously, it's not bad to have against. Got it. Mutas.
Both of them are going Evo chamber, so.
But yeah, this is really cool because I mean, I guess you recognize really the only way that you're going to be harassed is by mutas, right? So obviously, Carapace makes mutas basically like if you have it and your opponent doesn't, you just win. Like I don't know what the number of mutas to break even on not having Carapace is, but it's a lot. So. You're gonna need mutas. You're gonna need Carapace. I wouldn't be surprised to see a player go faster Hive, just because Devourers are obviously gonna be pretty fantastic.
Oh, the Scourge.
Waiting for it.
Oh, he gets a hit.
That's actually not bad. Okay. I'm trying to keep up with the main muta ball is obviously at the 3 o'clock base, but I'm waiting to see if there's like a backstab at this southern base, even though. There is a spore there. You can kind of pick off drones from the high ground to the west. So maybe that's going to be an avenue. But anytime you have muta versus muta, it's all about positioning. If you go for trying to harass your opponent's economy, there's always the chance he can just come kill your mutas and then win the game.
Yeah, and I mean, Darking has actually got a much lower muta count at the moment. It looks like Darking adding on a few extra Scourge, whereas Fairy is actually just going mass muta. So
yeah. Where's my muta counting station? Workers isn't enough. If we have a counting station for drones, why can't we have a counting station for everything, Kicks? I need to know how many mutas there are in a number because I'm not a smart enough spectator to count them individually.
That's too much info, man. We're going into just having everything on the screen at that point. I'll stand against that.
As an American, I expect to have everything all the time, just because, Kicks.
Well, I guess that makes sense, but it's kind of weird how the CVZ is playing out, because never would you really ever see, like, no Zergling damage being done for one, and also both players going for spores, both players going for Carapace at exactly the same time, and both on two really well-saturated naturals. Now, Fairy is obviously at a disadvantage when it comes to A, mining efficiency at the natural, and B, just having that extra hatchery worth of production. So Darking's actually in a really good place despite having the supply disadvantage.
Yeah, except Fairy's gonna poop on him if they actually fight. Like, it's not even gonna be close. Like, for the contrast, it's 1.5 control groups of mutas versus 8. So, you know, even though there is Scourge, like, just look at it. I mean, yeah, so that's annoying. He's gonna delay the hatchery, but I mean, Scourge are good. They're not okay. Well, all right. Well, the game's over, Kicks. That's a tragedy. Holy cow! I'm obviously exaggerating, but fighting less mutas versus more always sucks.
Yep.
So
If
it's
Darkin can
evening
stay
up.
alive, though, he can
Yeah.
definitely even this up now. And there's actually going to be, well, there was a third base attempt going in from Fairy, so the supplies are getting a little bit closer. Darking is actually the one with the drone advantage now as well. And now the Mutas are going to try and trade away for this Spore Colony. Oh,
Yeah,
let's
this
see
is
what the
where
Scourge
game just
connections are like.
ends. Like, I mean, they would have to be the best Scourge connections ever because the Muta count is still just astronomical for Fairy.
Thing is,
Even, like,
though. Oh wait, no. Okay, I was gonna
no, he
say
just
that.
wins the game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say like Darking's fighting over buildings, so maybe the spores would have gone
No.
different ways, but no, that's it. Game over. Fairy does
Yeah.
take game number 1.
To highlight how incredible it is that a player like Zero, if you don't know this guy, Google him. He's a god. How incredible it is that he's so good at late game ZVZ is because it feels like every time I try to think about it, I'm like, what if you did this cool creative thing? What if you did this interesting strategy? And all of them lose to just building more mutas. Like
Yep.
if you just hit the muta, it's so brain dead. It's like, I mean, obviously I'm oversimplifying it. I don't understand the matchup like pro players do, right? But from a spectator point of view, you can just look at that and be like, well, maybe he built like this interesting like Spore, Sim City, or like Worker Saturate, whatever. And it's like, no, he just built more mutas, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a useful talent to have if you want to play Muta versus Muta ZVZ.
Well, that was a relatively quick game, so I'm going to forego the break for now, just because going into a break straight away seems a little bit much. So if you jump in the game rapid, we'll head into our next one while you're joining.
You trying to tell me I'm not fast enough, Kicks?
Oh, you're definitely fast enough, but just
Okay.
not this time. But yeah, we're going to be heading into
go.
a TBT, so it's kind of cool to see so many TBT already in this season. One of the major, well, at least one of the major problems for me as a Terran player at the beginning of Season 1, Terran was rarer than me actually winning a game on ladder, and that's pretty rare, so... I don't know, it's difficult, but that's actually one of the players as well has been around quite a bit in the STPL. He's got an insane win ratio. It is going to be Bai for white. He's actually got 2104 ELO. He's won 8 wins, or he's won 8 games, sorry, lost 1 game. He actually lost against Scan. That was in the finals of the STPL Season 1, and that was a sick TVT as well, so... Looking forward to seeing how he is going to do. And we're going to have another player. Now, Pinkbrush has actually played once before. Pinkbrush played against Toss, which is a great name for someone who plays Protoss in the... he played against him in the show match a couple of weeks ago between Nice and EF. So that was a cool game on Neo Arkanoid. This is kind of going to be us discovering how they are as a player, though, because we've not really seen them too much. So I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be heading into our second map, which is a lot more standard, I would say, than Neo Arkanoid. It's going to be Carthage 3. TBT could be quite interesting. We could end up in another split map situation, especially with those temples in the middle.
Yeah, this map is actually really deceptive because even though it's a 2-player map, a lot of times it winds up getting split positions or split map, which I would not necessarily think about if I looked at the way that the map is. We had a huge split map on Monday, I think it was. So I don't actually know. I think if players get better at realizing when to break down the buildings in the middle and just like control that high ground area, I feel like maybe it won't get there, but I don't know. I've literally only seen like 1 map on this in the last 5 years, so or maybe 2 or 3. I think we saw it twice yesterday or twice on Monday. So
yeah, we saw it twice.
Let's find out, Monday.
Yeah, let's get into the game. It's Bai versus Pinkbrush.
Oh wow, I can see that they both start with 4 workers now, Kicks. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's awesome. Now, in the top left-hand corner, we do have the white Terran fighting for EF. It's going to be Pinkbrush.
And his opponent in the yellow, playing for white, is Bai.
I think we need to do the latency.
Oh. Are your SCVs not mining as fast as my SCVs?
Yep. There we go.
I love how it's a replay. We both actually have the replay file on our computer, but
And it still
like
lags.
it does. Yeah, it lags. Like we have all the data. Like as soon as we hit play, it could just play it from both of our computers, and it would just be totally synced. And the amount of data. Think about this: the massive terabytes of data it takes to sync a Brood War replay. This
Yeah,
is a
it's
replay
crazy.
that could have been watched 20 years ago. I'm like, I don't know about this. Like, I could transplant this file back in time 20 years, 2 decades, Kicks, and I could watch it simultaneously through like some daemon launcher or something.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, one thing I'm hoping, this is going back to another change they made in the recent patch, which gave us the work accounts. In unranked games, so custom games, you can actually pick your color. So hopefully, we'll no longer have the white player not playing as white. Or at least they'll play a color and the opponent won't be white, because that's very confusing. I'm probably going to get this mixed up a bit.
In the future, we'll be able to like change player colors specifically. Like, can you imagine that, Kicks?
That'd
Can
be
you
cool.
imagine you go into a game and you can just pick the color that the players are? Does that not sound like space age technology to you?
That would be incredible.
Uh-oh. Hey, Kicks, what is that?
That is a barracks on 11, so it's not an all-in. It's just going to be used to scout a little bit quicker. Marines, of course, in TVT, not super important unless your opponent is going for a 14cc.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it pones that build so hard. It's so sick to watch greedy-ass players get completely, like, disheveled by doing this. I wish more players did it, because it's actually super intelligent. Also, unless you're getting even harder proxied, and then you lose because your Marines are being made out on the map. So
yeah, I mean, you saw the weird highlight video I made between me and Terra, right? Because I went to Proxima Barracks in the middle of the map, and Terra built his proxy closer to my base than mine was, so I lost due to bad micro, but also because my Marines were spawning further away.
Yeah. I remember, who is it? It was Flash versus Sulky in the finals of this team tournament that they did for ASL's ASL Team Battle. And I think it was the finals, or maybe... Anyway, Flash is playing against Sulky. It's like game 3 of their best of 5, and Flash decides to like proxy racks him. And Sulky does the big balls 4-pool. And the 4-pool lings run by the proxy racks within their vision range, and the face Flash makes is just like, oh, come on, really? Because obviously he has nothing at home to hold. Like, there's no Marines there. So
now, we just saw something that you would never ever see. There was a bunker being built in front of a bunker, and the defender won with his SCVs. And Bai is in a great position now, because while Pinkbrush didn't go all in, he didn't build 2 racks, he also sent a good number of SCVs to try and do a little bit more damage, and he couldn't make it happen. A Pinkbrush with his faster factory, there's no add-on, so this was going to be for a Vulture, and unfortunately, the Vulture's not going to do anything either. Huge thank you, Rootser, for the tier 1 sub. Welcome to the STPL. Hopefully you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, but Pinkbrush is going to have to expand now. Yeah,
I mean, that's really gonna suck. Expanding when your opponents are already mining from theirs, oof, that is really gonna hurt. Especially since now Pinkbrush can scout with his barracks to see exactly how far behind he is. That's like when you scan your opponent's army and it's way bigger than yours, and like, oh, well, I didn't need that information, thanks.
Now, the funny thing is about the way 14cc works in TVT is as long as you don't die to, like, a BBS, you're actually just ahead. Like, Pinkbrush went for a factory expand. Yes, they pulled some SCVs, but you can already see that the second factory is going to be done for Bai long before the one for Pinkbrush is, and Bai is already able to afford a third factory as well. So, 14cc is just arguably better than any other build in TVT.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. Obviously, when you like sacrifice everything for one thing, that one thing that you sacrifice everything else for is going to be great. Whether you're sacrificing it for all-out aggression, like BBS or something, or you sacrifice it for, you know, all-out economy, and then you have nothing. So, yeah, 14cc is just the best. Now, obviously, and I hate it when you hear pro players talk about their games, they're like, oh, the game's just over right now. I'm like, So technically, if you played perfectly, then yes, the game would be over right now. But no, neither of these players is Flash, okay? So nobody's going to play this game perfectly. And I feel like you have to take into account the fact that all players that play Brood War are just the worst. Like, even the best players are the worst players. Like, it might sound weird to say, but like everybody just makes catastrophic mistakes all the time.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, well, even so, like, Flash does make mistakes. So even though Flash, being the absolute god he is, like being so good that he actually got the moniker of god, like even he makes mistakes sometimes. Like, no one can play this game absolutely perfectly outside of an AI. It's insane.
Yeah, so all I'm trying to say is, and even the AIs for Brood War are so bad.
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say is anything can happen, even though, for the most part, Bai is killing it. So even though there's a couple of siege tanks on the other side, I think there'll probably be enough to stop these vultures, but maybe not a follow-up.
Oh, this is nice. Yeah, he's Pinkbrush is actually going to create a wall here. This is going to be so important.
Yeah, because otherwise you could have just run by the tanks, and that's what I was kind of thinking about. But now it's just you know, shooting fish in a barrel. So
yeah,
sorry, vultures, not today.
Pinkbrush has spent a lot of time and money actually building up that vulture count. Like, yes, Pinkbrush is going to have mines. Or actually, yeah, mines are almost done. So there's going to be a few mines, but think of how many vultures just died. I think it was 4 or 5. And when you think about how many extra mines that would be, that's like 15 extra mines on the middle of the map. Like, that's a considerable amount. And Pinkbrush is going to be ahead in the tank count now, unless they stop building tanks. Well, until this third factory kicks in, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, eventually the macro difference will kind of be felt. Like you said, Pinkbrush had the faster factory at the beginning, but now it's obviously swung the other way with 3 facts spinning for Bai. Actually, only 2 of them are spinning because he's researching siege mode, which is only halfway done.
Yeah. And one of the crazy things is here, like, just look at the vision that this actually gives Bai. It's crazy.
Oh wow, that's actually... How is it that good? Man, Terran, so much vision all the time. Much wow.
Okay, there's a Wraith out for Pinkbrush. Pinkbrush did get their their starport a lot faster, so they obviously did forego the third factory early on to get the starport out quicker. The armory came up quicker for Bai, but the upgrade... Okay, neither player are actually going for the upgrade yet, so that'll be next on their agenda, I would say. But this Wraith is going to be important. There's actually nothing that Bai has that can contest this for now. At least until these Goliaths pop.
Well, he does have Marines, right?
Yeah.
Yes, he does have them. Except that those kind of... Which is worse, a Marine or 1 Wraith? Fighting each other is like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, a Wraith loses to 3 Marines, but not 2, so that would have been pretty good. But now there's a Goliath, they're going to have to fall back. Now, this is an interesting decision by Pinkbrush. Pinkbrush obviously spending a lot of gas trying to get the additional factory up, obviously with the starport making as well. Kind of forewent making more tanks a little bit earlier, so Bai is definitely catching up with the tank count, and you can already see the most important thing is the position. Bai's got their tanks a lot closer towards Pinkbrush's base, and it looks like we're going to have a push out here, but the mines are going to do so much if they're not careful.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Oh no. Okay. The game could end at any second here, Kicks. This is like the hunt for Red October when they're going through the minefield.
Well, even
oh no! Oh my god!
even if they get the units over here, look at where Bai's units are going. They're going for the natural. He's gonna have to turn around. This is gonna be so difficult.
This is gonna be terrible. How do you beat this? I mean, you
have to pull SCVs. You have to pull SCVs and just hope. I mean, this isn't how you do it. Pinkbrush losing a lot of tanks here, unable to siege up. Like, imagine if they'd have sieged just out of range. Things would have looked a little bit better here, but so many SCVs have gone down, so many units have gone down. And it's going to be difficult to come back from this. That's a nice tank shot, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, if that 1 tank was taken out, I'm like, maybe it's a little bit more even, but as is, these vultures are going to kill the last remaining tank in the background. Oh, the repair comes through! Is this the most epic repair? Unsiege the tank, my dude. You gotta unsiege it. That repair is so clutch.
Yep.
I think that combined with the ability to build more units is going to be really, really important. It might actually just by itself allow Pinkbrush to hang on, but I mean, look, he lost so many SCVs there, as you can see in the SCV counting station.
Hidden base, base over on the right-hand side, but I mean, we've got Bai with a third base down at the bottom already, going into a fourth base as well, and there's absolutely nothing that Pinkbrush is going to be able to do against this. You can already see the siege coming in on the high ground, making a big difference there, doing more and more damage to these units.
It's just, it's not going to stop kicks. This is going to be kind of a travesty. I mean, you were talking about the hidden base, like, but yes, there's a not quite so hidden base for Bai as well. So
and another base coming in from Bai. Bai is just taking their side of the map.
Yeah, taking every expansion. It's not going to be close kicks because Pinkbrush. I mean, what does he have to do to come back from here? Basically,
you have to essentially.
I feel like I'm a bad caster if I can't figure out a reason the guy that's dead could win the game.
You have to essentially turtle so perfectly, and Bai would have to throw away so many units multiple times for you to be able to win here. And I usually don't like calling a game before it's done, but this is going to be near impossible for Pinkbrush. But let's see how the tank target firing is. Good target firing so far, but you can just see the sheer number of tanks coming in from Bai is just too much. And more SCVs are going to go down here as well, trying to defend this. I mean, they are going to be able to trade pretty well with the tanks for now, but there's just no more tanks left for Pinkbrush.
Yes.
Okay, assassin SCVs.
Oh, wow, that was a big mine drag, I guess? I don't know. Everything exploded.
Yeah, it was a mine drag, and it actually worked out better for Bai than it did for Pinkbrush, even though the tank died. Like, that's how Pinkbrush... I mean, Bai is so far ahead right now. Up 2 bases, 3 bases soon. Actually, the CC's already finished. The gas is already done. You can just see a scan going down there on Pinkbrush's base, but the aggression just isn't going to stop here. More and more tanks rallying over. Even the factory count is absolutely huge at this point for Pinkbrush. For Bai, even.
I feel like, I don't know, 77 SCVs seems somewhat excessive to me, Kicks. Like, I don't know how many SCVs is too many SCVs, but like, that might be it. At some point, you just need to go kill the guy. So... Got it. Yeah, that's what we're gonna see. The slow strangulation.
Drop in the main as well.
Okay, well that's one way to do it for sure. Yikes.
Yeah, I mean the good thing is Pinkbrush will have the vision advantage, but you can see the mines there actually taking out one of the tanks. Good target firing by Bai pretty much everywhere. You can see why Bai has won so many games in the STPL so far.
Yes, I can see. I mean, also, you know, I would always be biased towards somebody on White Clan just because they're all usually pretty good.
Yep.
Except for that one non-Korean guy that they have in their clan for some reason. I don't know why that would happen, but that's you, Kicks.
There's also Telecom. I thought you were like throwing shade at Telecom there.
Oh no, I was definitely. Oh wow, sick mind drag again. Anyway, yes. So somehow, against all odds, okay, I was like, Pinkbrush could hold on for another like 5 minutes or so, but he's gonna put us all out of his misery and tap out of the game, because Bai had definitely won it by then. So yeah, wow, that was I kind of all came down. Missed it. Kind of all came down to that bunker hold at the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because. Realistically, Pinkbrush wasn't super all in or anything like that, but Bai was just in such a good position after that that it didn't really matter. Like, even though Pinkbrush did the right thing, went into tanks quicker, did actually have a higher tank count earlier on, because of all the mines that were actually out in the middle of the map, he couldn't capitalize on it, and that obviously led in the long term for Bai just having the entire map, which is kind of crazy. Thank you as well, of course, to Jesse and Yeti who have just hosted me. Good to see you guys here again. We are just going to go for a quick break, but when we're back, we'll go into game number 3, which is going to be a PvT between Cubic and Jihu. See you guys soon.
Outstanding. Rocket.
STPL does. Bio TVP. Wow! You got it. STPL does. Mass Scouts? No problem. Broadcast 3 nights a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2100 CEST. Fantastic casting, fantastic production, fantastic prizes. Only here on the STPL. Did you know Reavers could be this radical? How did these lings even get here? All I know is that's one dead base. STPL does. Wraiths, Valkyries, Carriers, and Corsairs. Forget about it. You won't see that anywhere else. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. STPL does. DT's doing game-ending damage? Name a more iconic duo. We've even got carriers in PvZ. How amazing! A global team league on the scale you've never seen before. Don't see this in BWCL, STPL does. All that and more, only on this amazing 64-bit STPL. What BWCL don't. Impressed? I know I am. Why not support us on the link below? Patreon.com/kicks. But act fast. It's a limited offer.
Coast 103.5.
Okay, for our third map, we're going to be taking a look at Desperado, a 2007 MSL map. Once again, another relatively old map in this pool, but it led to some incredibly good games back in the day, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it will do in the modern meta, as it works a little bit differently from a lot of the more modern maps. The main difference being there is no gas in the natural, but there is a second gas that's easy to take, so Zerg are not in trouble, as the main actually has two gases in it by itself, so almost like a one base map. There's lots of different variations of builds you can do. Tech builds on this map are incredibly good, but it's also very easy to defend as well, as the mineral only is choked off by some minerals which you can mine out to open up the attack path later on. The top and bottom have a gas base, as well as the left and right have island gas bases as well. All relatively easy to defend. Drops very good on this map as well. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for some more STPL action. We just had a quick break after the first two games, and we're going to be heading into game number 3, which is going to be a TVP on Desperado.
Yeah, this is going to, I think, be maybe a little bit better, but once again, I've never seen either of these players play before, so I just have no concept of what could possibly transpire in this game. But then again, neither do you guys, unless you have some sick insider information.
Yep.
And if you do, no spoilers. But anything can happen. We just finished a TVT, and now we're going into a PVT.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've actually seen one of each race so far. We've had a ZVZ, a TVT, and now a PVT, because No one wants a PvP, right? But yeah, we're going to be having Cubic here for white. You may remember Cubic from last season if you're watching all the way back in May last year, because he was on IRK before, but he was actually on White Clan at the same time, so Aggie wasn't quite happy with that, so he's like, nope, you go join White. So here Cubic is again, back after a very long time. And we're going to have G, who has actually changed their name to Blaze now. So we're going to be referencing his name as Blaze, which is also a little bit easier to say. So that's all good. But G, who actually played 2 games in the show match last week. Won the first one against Chobo, and then lost to Essen in the final game of Multiverse, which was a really, really sick TVZ. It's actually like set to one of the must-watch videos on the STPL TV YouTube channel. So after these games, if you're still not satiated, go and watch Essen vs Jihu. It was a sick series, and it should be kind of cool. Now, luckily enough, we did have the intro there for Desperado, but that's the map we're going into.
Yeah, I love Desperado. I think it's so cool to have weird resource distributions, and that's the cool thing about Desperado. You have 2 gases in your mains. It's crazy, but it doesn't actually wind up being that crazy because you have no gas at your natural expansion, which evens things out, and you almost never see players rush double gas because then you just have no minerals.
Yeah. We'll have to see exactly how this is going to play out as we get into the game. It's Cubic versus Blaze here on Desperado. Okay, now starting us off here in the bottom left-hand position, we do have the Purple Terran fighting for EF. It's Blaze.
And his opponent in the bottom right, in the red, playing for White Clan, is Cubic.
Now it's kind of cool we've actually got like red versus purple this time, rather than like white versus yellow, or soon we may have gray versus black on a space platform map. That's gonna that's gonna be fun.
Why is that a thing that needs to happen? On the list of things that need to happen, why is allowing black and gray to be colors?
To be honest, black looks so sick. Like black Protoss and black Terran
badass.
Looks amazing.
Like let's make a list of all colors that would be really hard to see in some situation. First of all, I think it was Cadenzi that mentioned like cyan is just super broken because it's the same color as minerals and gas. You just can't see it. Like you have a tank drop in your mineral line. What does it look like on the mineral map or on the mini
on the mineral map?
Freudian slip there. What is there just a lot of on the map? Black stuff. Well, what do you know? Black would be a color that would be gray. Is a space platform tile set gray? Yes. Okay, sick. What if we have 2 shades of gray? What if we have light and dark gray? Well, what do you know? It's light and dark gray. Fantastic.
What if we have 50 shades of gray?
Kicks. Why you always gotta go there? What is
well,
this map? This map is Desperado, but basically BGH. I'm glad you analyzed that. If it were reversed and your buildings were on the outside and the minerals were on the inside, then it would be fastest.
Now, I see that Eagle is like, this is No Rush 20 version of STPL, but the thing is, like, Neo Arkanoid is more that than this map. Like, this is actually a really rushable map. It wouldn't surprise me to see Cubic go for very fast Reavers after this expansion. Now, I was actually trying to play a little bit of Protoss yesterday against TT1 going Zerg, and it's very difficult to be it's difficult to both be aggressive early on and also to be greedy at the same time, which makes absolutely no sense, but hopefully this game will explain it a little bit better than I can.
Yeah, my favorite thing, so after Monday's games where I got a chance to see a lot of these maps for what felt like the first time, I went back and watched some of the double quotes best games from pro players playing on this map from like way back in the day, and Desperado is one of those games, or one of those maps that is just from way back. I think it's like 2007?
Yeah, it's 2007, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And I'm watching like pro players from way back there, because this is where with the best Zerg player in the world, who's also the worst Zerg player in the world, race swapped when he played on Desperado, and I was watching him do this, and it's so sick to watch. But it is also crazy because the map is crazy, and I love it.
I also like how Missouri is like, I played in 2007 actively. How is that back in the day? Thing is, like, it's crazy to think, but like whenever I think of a map that was released in 2011, I think, well, that's a new map, but it's not anymore. Like, 2011 was 8 years ago. Oh my god, we're all so old.
2007 is 12 years ago. There are archaeologists that are unearthing things from 2007.
Oh my god, Marine SCV.
Yeah,
let's
I'm
go.
looking at it. I'm just like, it's time. We're pulling the SCVs of indiscriminate gender all the way across the map. What are they gonna do, Kix? Is this the People's Revolt? Is this the bourgeoisie?
I mean, the bourgeoisie are going up against the proletariat here, trying to take down the 12 next. Obviously a super greedy play, but unfortunately there's already 2 Zealots and 2 Dragoons. This came a little bit late. The gateways came very quickly, but there's still going to be a bunker coming up here. Let's see what the micro is going to be like. Is this going to be another insanely quick game today?
Well, there's a shield battery because it was scouted a little bit faster, and I think even that just by itself, he's actually not using the shield battery at all, which is somewhat of a strategy.
Oh, a lot of probes have gone down, which is good, and the bunker's done.
Use the shield battery. Use the shield. Oh, there we go. All right, shield battery used. Dragoon is going to be invincible. He's still got energy on that shield battery, and the Dragoon's still taking damage. But oh yeah, look at that. That's it. Now 4 Dragoons with basically full shields and health. One of them is a little damaged, but oh, he's also taking free damage for no reason. But wait until this range kicks in.
Yeah, now the crazy thing is, Blaze didn't opt to go for a machine shop, so there's no mines, there's no tanks, and this is pretty much over already. I mean, he could send a few SCVs to try and repair this, but he already sent a lot, so they're going to go back home, and we're probably going to see some more factories until the second gas come up, so not the best rush, didn't really do that much damage, killed a few probes, but there's already 2 Nexuses, so that's not really what he hoped to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, oh, he's still taking damage on that one. Oh no, the Dragoon's gonna die to the Marines in the bunker. Just kidding. This was a little bit tragic from the get-go. Sure, it delays the Nexus, or it was there to delay the Nexus, but
yeah.
No, that's not gonna happen. Clutch shield battery, kind of rare that you get a chance to see those be so impactful. But now, what happens when you get across the map? There's a bunker that's not even done yet. It's only gonna have 2 Marines in it.
There's gonna be mines soon, though.
I want to see it try to dive to snipe the tank because there's 5 Dragoons. You can get that easy peasy.
But you can't get past these minerals, so it makes it a little bit more difficult. And you can already see this tank is in a great position. Mines are coming up now as well, and that's when it starts to get really difficult to push through. The second CC is finally on the way. I mean, it's not too impactful. The gas is going to be more useful, but I mean, Blaze is in not too bad of a position, but Cubic definitely does have an advantage here, and Cubic's already going for a 3rd base at this other main.
Yeah, I think this is really smart, except that I'm not sure. So every time a player decides to do this, I'm almost like, well, yeah, but that could allow your opponent to get back in the game if he like scouts it and drops it or something. But I don't think so in this situation.
Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, Blaze certainly isn't super far behind. Like, his Terran, if you can turtle up to 2-1 or 3-2, which you can quite easily do on this map with just 2 gases, it's very, very easy to defend this choke and just a single ramp. So, I mean, Cubic doesn't necessarily need to do any damage, but eventually, if he waits too long, Blaze is definitely going to have a really good army. And if you think, there's also the island base that Blaze could try and sneak in.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen these island bases taken very often. They really do get passed over. I think that they are a fantastic resource that players need to make use of. I'm saying this after 1 day of watching this map in action in the current era. So, you know, maybe take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. We did see the island be taken in Horotos versus Radley. Didn't remember it got nuked. There was like 1 million cannons on it as well. I think it's that game was so long, and all the games on Monday were so long that they lost it to Tuesday.
I just wanted to die.
That was a crazy game. But we've got cannons coming up at the ramp here for this third base. That's going to be another 2 gases coming in. So if you think about this compared to a conventional map, rather than having to take 2 additional bases to get 2 more gases, you only need 1, and they are full gases as well. It's not like they're half gas or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not extra resources. I know this map looks like fastest or BGH or something, but it all evens out because there's no gas at your natural, so it's like, okay, well, you know, it all balances out eventually. The bases I never see taken are the mineral onlys that have you and I imprisoned in our little goo tubes.
Yeah, they're kind of better if you're in cross positions. We are going to see likely Blaze kill me. I'm the guy in this left-hand one, because Blaze is going to need to expand, and if you expand forward, you can get this base really easily, and then you can even move down and get this third gas base at the bottom. So Blaze is certainly more likely going to take it than Cubic is, but it's still something that could happen. You can already see Cubic is sending a Dragoon just scouting the other bases just to make sure Blaze doesn't do anything cheeky.
Yeah, I love this because this is how you lose the game, right? If your opponent got an SCV out that you didn't see and is mining somewhere stupid. So, yeah, he's just going to see, wait a second, I know exactly how many bases my opponent has. The only problem is he hasn't scouted the islands. And if there's one hidden base that Cubic would never see, it's the island base on his side of the map or his opponent's side of the map. So that's always an option that he's got to keep thinking about in the back of his mind. But in the meantime, he's killing it. He's got a lot of bases up. But anytime I'm watching a PBT kicks and the Terran player isn't dead, there's a chance.
There is always a chance here. Now, Cubic hasn't gone for the other 2 gases yet, just because the minerals are kind of more important at this stage. It is going to be 2 Stargate Arbiter. There's no Arbiter upgrades going just yet, and there's actually a probe stuck. So Recall is going to be the order of the day to start with here. Not going to worry about Stasis just yet. I mean, we've still only got 2 factories here from Jihu, or from Blaze even. So these 2 additional factories, they're going to come in. But there's not too much production for Stasis to have to worry about. So Recall, the moment Blaze leaves his base, is going to be so important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the recall, because, you know, that's the question, do you go recall or stasis? If you're trying to bust in, then probably recall is better for that. But if you're trying to, like, take a fight out on the map, then probably stasis. Yeah. So I love recall. I think that's absolutely the best way to take out, say, the southern base.
Yeah, now there's a third CC at the front of the bases here for Blaze, so he is going to look to push forward and try and take that center mineral only, most likely, to start with. But this is going to be quite dangerous. Look at the size of Cubic's army already. And there's a shuttle here as well with 4 zealots ready. But rip, poor kicks here.
Oh, he's unsieged. Oh no. Why would he unsiege? No, not like this. There is a minefield, but now I actually heard him. Huge mine drag all over those tanks. They're not sieged up. They're way back in the back. And even though the zealots are taken out here, there's just so many Dragoons. Oh my gosh.
Still, Blaze is going to hold. Yeah, Blaze, all the buildings there really coming into effect. The bunker actually soaking a lot of those Dragoon hits. And rather than throw his entire army away, which is something that seems to be quite popular with Protoss players at the moment, Cubic's going to pull back.
Yeah, I'm... Color me surprised. Wow. Yeah, man, Terran defending the siege tanks. That's just pretty good. Even still, on the other side of the map, Cubic has a 4th base up. It's not mining yet, but it will be pretty soon. It's defended by cannons. It's walled off, or almost walled off. I think he needs 1 more cannon there. But we're going to see a remax on Zealots most likely. Yeah, he's just hitting a couple rounds of Zealots as well. So once these get here, I think it's time for round 2. And even though there's extra mines going up there, I don't know. Yeah, he's not even going to allow them to be placed. He knows he's got reinforcements coming in, but being a little bit indecisive here, Kicks.
Yeah, this can be a little bit dangerous. The tank line is relatively deep, but there's so few tanks, and the Zealots are getting on top of absolutely everything. The command center is going to be in trouble here. Now, there are some last-second mines being put down, but unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. There's just so many units from Cubic, and GG! Blaze taps out, and Cubic takes game number 3.
Damn, Cubic looked really good there. Obviously, maybe some extra finesse is needed with closing out that game, but that was good.
Yep.
I think Blaze always kind of overestimated his position a little bit. Like
Yeah.
when he was moving out on the map, I was just like, or first of all, when he was unsieged and he got attacked, I'm like, oh, the game could just end now. But second of all, when he started to have that tank line that wasn't very deep and is away from the bunker, that bunker was so choice, and then
Yeah.
kind of wasn't there anymore. So wow, yeah, congratulations to Cubic. That puts White Clan up 2-1 in the series.
No, that's 3-0. But
Wait,
we
is
do,
it?
yeah, we do
Wait.
play. I'm fairly certain White won all 3 games.
Oh yeah, you're right. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. No, because didn't we have? Yeah. Okay, you're right. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah.
because we didn't take a commercial break between games 1 and 2. It just all runs together.
Yeah, it all goes into the same place. So we are going to take a quick break for this, but when we get back, we're going to close out the series. It is the STPL, so we always play all 4 games, even if one team has already lost. It gives them a chance to get a little bit of pride back. We're going to have Careless versus Chaylin in a ZBZ when we get back after this short break. See you guys very soon. Neo Arkanoid also makes its appearance in STPL Season 2, a map from 2006. It's from the OGN Star League from back then, one of the early OSLs. And it's a semi-island map. I think one of the first of its kind that got major use after about the year 2004. It's one of a kind. I don't think I've ever seen another map like it. There's temples and power generators absolutely everywhere, making it very difficult to get through the middle of the map. The air units, of course, going to be very important here. The one problem all 3 races are going to have is they're very easy to take second and third bases. They both have gas, but they are blocked by those chrysalises, so it makes it important to build a few aggressive units early on in order to get that second and third gas as soon as you can. Important thing to note, if you do open up that center, the rush distance is very small. Next up, we have the 2009 map that was used in Pro League. It is New Tornado. New Tornado is a relatively standard 4-player map. There is only 3 bases in each corner, very much like Fighting Spirit. That was kind of the style at the time of these kind of macro maps. The main and natural look perfectly normal, lots of buildable space. There is a high ground pod outside of the natural, however, which gives you a staging ground as the aggressor to use ranged units to hit from the high ground, but you can also use it as a defensive position just to give you that extra bit of range, especially as Terran. It allows you to secure your natural a lot easier a little bit further into the game. It does make pushing out a lot harder as well, but there's also a third gas base, upper ramp, very Fighting Spirit-esque, very easy to defend, and a relatively open center, but those high ground pods are going to be an area of contention, as if a Terran player can get siege tanks up there, it can be deadly. Okay, finally we do have Whiteout, the ASL Season 7 map, one of my favorite recent a modern 3-player. Okay guys, welcome back. We're here for game number 4. It's going to be a ZBZ between Chaylin and Careless, and it should be a pretty sick ZBZ. It's going to be over here on Neo Outlier as well, so I'm just quickly putting the old colors into the overlay, then we'll bring everything up. So Careless, or I think it's Careless, or is it Careless? I guess it means the same, but the capitalization is a bit strange, but that's a Korean name for you. So We'll go with that. They haven't actually played in the STPL before. They're one of the newer players the White Clan have added to the Season 2 roster, so can't go into them much. But Chaylin is a female streamer from Korea. I believe she actually streams on Twitch as well. And as you said before, Rapid, her English is pretty good as well, so that helps.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. So even though there's no Twitch or Twitter, she has both of those. And also that YouTube link is horrendous. She also has an actual name for her YouTube channel.
That's what I got sent over by King Toss, who's the clan leader of EF, so yeah. I just used it.
She also is one of those players that, like, and this is so Chaylin. If you go to her channel, like, this is it. Like, it has this long like ornate bio, and I feel like almost no players in STPL actually filled out the bio form. So
yeah, this one did, and that's why it's like slightly too big for the actual menu. Yeah. I need to make it a little bit bigger, but that's fine. We can sort that out afterwards. The map we're going into is going to be New Outlier. It's going to be the first CBZ we've seen here, but we had an epic PVZ on here on Monday, but that doesn't really matter too much. Obviously this map, 3-player, the spawns are actually relatively close together. There is kind of this weird, I don't even know how you'd explain this shape in the middle. It's kind of like a twist, kind of like a weird 3-prong shuriken or something. I don't know, like, I can't explain this shape.
Oh, it is kind of hard. I would call it, there's a word for it. There's an actual name for that shape, but I don't know what it would be called either.
Yeah,
I just remember when I was taking like abstract geometry or something, we were learning like weird names for shapes because it was like a stupid trivia thing, and that was one of them. But yeah, it's a spinny thing in the middle. It's like 1 prong less than the Heroes of the Storm logo.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess we can have a look more detailed at this amazing shape as we get into the game. It's going to be a ZBZ, so I can't imagine it's going to be a super long one. So let's just get into the game. Okay, starting us off here in the bottom left-hand position, we do have the red Zerg fighting for eternal friends. It's Chaylin.
And Chaylin's opponent in the yellow playing for White Clan, which is still going to get confusing. Why would you make your clan name color? Same thing happens for Red Clan when they have to play in blue.
Yeah.
It's Careless as the yellow Zerg player.
Okay, so I'm kind of interested to see how this is actually going to go. Both players are actually going to be scouting in the wrong direction with their overlords, so we would see the amazing, crazy, oh look, I have an overlord in your base, so I get to see absolutely everything and you have no idea what I'm doing. So that's still going to come into this CBC, but unlike the first CBC we had of the night, there is a path on the ground for Zerglings to get across to your opponent's base, so it's not going to look anything like game number 1.
And now, we get a chance to watch the Overlords scout towards each other. This is the most exciting part of the game.
Yeah, we're going to see the Overlords kiss in the middle of the map. It's always quite an intimate moment. Now, Careless is actually hiding a hatchery in the...
This is weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird middle section between like the weird semi-island bases and the natural, but like 2 hatcheries in the main base is not exactly the weirdest thing. It is going to be 12 hatch into pool, so that is going to be a very quick hatchery.
Wow, I haven't seen a hidden hatch in a long time.
Last time we saw it was Faust, and he built it in the best position on the map. Let's just say that we'll kind of be nicer about that hatchery.
Faust and building buildings you wouldn't expect where you wouldn't expect them.
Yeah.
Name a more iconic duo. We're about to watch this intimate Overlord moment happen. But you're right, that is actually pretty significant because Chaylin's going to have more drones for now, but surprise, there's an extra hatchery. And so I would guess that means Muta's coming up here pretty soon, or like the Zergling Flood. I remember watching, who was it, do like the Hidden Hatch Zergling Flood It was last season. I don't remember.
Neither do I. That was a long, long time ago, Rapid. We don't talk about that. I think it was Faust, but it was from the wrong base, so it's fine though. There must have been someone else who did it as well. So if anyone in chat can actually remember that game, then...
Well, anyway, we've got our first 8-lings out on the map, and I mean, they will be scouted, which is obviously mission accomplished by this one sacrificial ling. Oh, wow, it actually lives.
Yeah, I only got hit
ran in.
once. Like, what the heck? That's crazy.
Miracles happen when you believe, Kicks.
Now, will Chaylin believe this second hatchery? Will she actually get to see it? That's going to be important, because if you don't know you're up against 2 hatchery production, suddenly you can get run over. Now, Chaylin's actually going for a second hatchery herself as well, and also going for a Spire. It's kind of weird how neither player has tried to expand, but I guess it is up the ramp, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to do, because it makes it harder to defend.
Yeah, I actually hadn't thought about that too much. Once again, this is like the 3rd game I've seen on this. Second game, I guess. Maybe it is the 3rd game. Because this is the fourth map, so we always see this. So I guess this would be the 3rd time. Well, anyway, running around at the speed of sound. No, it's not Sonic. It's the Speedlings of Careless. About to hit, but I mean, maybe it'll be hard to break through. But just so many more Zerglings here.
Yeah, but look at Chaylin's. This is really good micro. Looks like there is a little bit too many, but she is going to pull back. Careless is pushing in with the lings, but there's good sim state here. There's no sunken yet, though. Although there is two... Oh my god, the Spire's going to go down. That's a massive deal. And the sunken's still not done either.
Well,
good drill, though.
Problem. Yeah, I mean, okay, so drones are just good. Sunken does finish up, and there aren't enough Zerglings to kill it off, so... double sunken, I mean, that's pretty defensive.
And there's no spying yet from Careless. This was a ling all-in. There's no lair either. So if Chaylin can survive and get this Spire done, Chaylin's going to be in incredible position. There's even a drone coming with this. Is Careless going to try and sunken rush? It has to be, actually, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the idea, right? But wow, this is crazy.
The Spire's going to go down again.
That's pretty good. I mean, even if the Spire does go down again, I mean, you're sacking all your...
Oh, there was no cancel. That's a lot of gas to be losing.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of lings that went down as well.
It's really hard to call. If the hidden hatchery was at a base right now, like a 12 hatch or something, then Careless could just like pull back behind this. But this is still pretty interesting. Second drone coming forward.
Oh goodness, this is a crazy all-in here from Careless. If they can finish both of those into sunkens, they're going to be able to kill the lair. And there's no spying yet either, so there's going to be nothing that can contest this. There's going to be another creep colony being added, but that's going to be under fire.
Crazy. This is so stupid. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because Chaylin still doesn't have enough lings to fight Careless's lings.
Yeah, and you remember, Careless is doing it. This is a trick you can do if you've not seen this before, guys. If you attack a building or a unit with a sunken, if you retarget before the sunken appears, you can attack outside of the range. You can see this on this creep colony here. Chaylin is in so much trouble.
This is one of the great miracles of our time.
Yep. I don't think there's anything Chaylin can do, although when this hatchery goes down, Careless isn't going to be able to retarget. Oh, there's lava. Oh my goodness, this lava is being a real pain.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, it's gonna kill
the drone survives.
Oh, that's not something I expected to see. But yeah, wow, this is crazy. I've just never seen a double sunken rush.
Yeah, the lair's actually in range.
It's
Diagonals
only in range
are strange.
Of the sunkens. Yeah, I was gonna say I looked at the range and I was like, I don't know about that, but yeah, it is in range of one of the sunkens. If it was not, okay, now he's targeting it with the second sunken. Oh, I guess you have to do the trick on the second sunken to target.
Yep, you can't. There's nothing actually there to hit it with. There is a sunken from Chaylin now. But look how many lings there are. Like, how do you contest this? Like, if your lair goes down, you've got nothing. I mean, there is a Spire coming up. Chaylin is trying to bank some minerals and gas, but if you lose all your buildings, does it really matter? That if the lair goes down, that's surely got to be it.
Well, also, if you build mutas right now, then
GG.
you still almost just died the Lings, and oh
Yeah.
my gosh, the lair was gonna die before then anyway. Wow, what a game! This is just I've never seen a game like that. How did Careless win that? That is, I don't know if that's like, is that like so bad it's good? You know, that
Well,
that kind of feeling.
the thing is, for a ZVZ, that was really interesting because if you think about it, that Sunken, they weren't built on the actual creep from the main hatchery. They were built on the creep from the extra hatchery, which extended
Yeah.
the creep closer to the ramp, which gave Careless a place to build the Sunkens. Like, that all hinged on Chaelin building her Sunkens defensively too far back, but also building the hatchery in the same place. I mean, Careless took a risk. You could say he played that rather carelessly, but it paid off. Really well done by Careless.
What a meme, man. Holy, ZVZ just keeps on delivering. Wow. So that's White Clan with a 4-0 domination of Eternal Friends.
Yep.
I mean, I guess friendship might be magic, but it's not going to win you any games of Brood War today.
Yeah, I mean, one thing which is always good to say is just the fact that if you think about the way Brood War works, wait, no, that's completely different to what I was actually going to say, and the fact that White Clan, they struggled a bit in the final stages of Season 1 and 2, and this is them showing, I think, that they're still a force to be reckoned with. I know, I went back to this so much in Season 1, but there was a lot of people who were like, well, surely White Clan are just going to win every game, right? But they didn't. Like, they lost a lot of games, a lot of foreign teams took them out as well. They may be primarily the only Korean clan in the entire league, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. They still bleed, just like everyone else. But this series, they certainly didn't. And just having a quick look at the results, we can show that as well. With a 4-0 victory over Eternal Friends, White Clan showing the dominance.
That's right. I mean, you kind of expected White Clan to be a favorite just almost in every matchup, unless they play like Seoul or somebody. But EF, I'm excited to see how they do. Chaelin's obviously like a very strong player, and I don't know any of their Korean players that are on their team, kind of like White Clan. But
Yeah.
I think if you're a Korean player joining White Clan's, like, you know, it's going to be pretty solid. The only other clan better than that, I guess, would be like Lamau or something. You know, just has all of the badass players. But anyway, that's going to do it for our first series, 4-0 for White Clan. And that means that coming up next is DM versus Nas.
Yep, I thought I'd save the series with the Americans to be next. We're actually going to have a debut of one of the really popular foreign players at the moment. It's going to be Jaeyoon making his debut here for Naz. So when we get back after this break, we'll get going with the next series. Don't go anywhere.